against Islamic State. Harry has just returned to the UK. We'll talk to him live just after 10 o'clock this morning. Hello, good morning, welcome to the programme. This morning we'll bring you the latest breaking news, exclusive interviews, original journalism and the main news stories of the day. Plus, of course, we always want to hear from you. In the next half hour or so, we're going to talk to the Fundraising Standards Board, the head of it. They've launched an investigation into charity fundraising following the death of 92-year-old Olive Cook, who'd been overwhelmed with so-called begging letters from various charities. Have you been bombarded? Perhaps you work for a charity. Do get in touch this morning. Also, should parents be banned from piercing the ears of their young babies and young children? One MP wants an age restriction introduced. Tell us what you think. Here's how to get in touch. Text will be charged at the standard network rate. And you can watch the programme online wherever you are, via the BBC News app or our website, bbc.co.uk/Victoria. And you can also subscribe to all our features on the News app by going to Add Topics and searching Victoria Derbyshire. First this morning, an exclusive interview with a woman cleared twice of murdering her friend's boyfriend after stabbing him 17 times with a knife. Stacey Hyde was 17 when she killed Vincent Francis. She'd woken up in the middle of the night to find him attacking her friend, Holly Banwell. In 2010, she was found guilty of Francis's murder and sentenced to 9 years in jail. Last year, the Court of Appeal overturned that conviction. The Director of Public Prosecutions then ordered a retrial. A second jury found her not guilty, accepting she acted in self-defence and feared for her life. After a total of 5.5 years in jail, she walked free last month. We'll bring you that interview next. Some of the detail is graphic and harrowing. Stacey Hyde begins by describing what happened on the night she attacked Vincent Francis.
I remember waking up on their bed and everything being like slow motion and running out into the hallway to Holly screaming for help. And Vince, the victim, was attacking her. The next thing I know, I remember jumping on his back and trying to get him off of her. And then the next thing I know, he's on top of me and he's strangling me, and then he's coming at me with something in the hallway, and I'm just screaming for help, thinking this is it, I'm gonna die, and no one's coming to help me. And now we believe the thing he had in his hand to be a knife. From what I said to the police when they found me, I've got shock amnesia, so I find it very hard to remember certain things. I've blocked out a lot of it.
From what you've learned since, and from some of the evidence that was heard in court, while you and Vincent were sort of engaged in that struggle, Holly was on the phone to the police. She'd called 999. I've listened to that call.
Yeah.
It's what you can hear. I mean, it's incredibly distressing. What you can hear is you screaming and Holly saying to the 999 operator, he's punching you in the face, he's beating you up. And then we hear Holly saying she's got a knife, and we hear her telling you to put the knife down. And then we hear some horrific screams as you attack him. When you heard that call in court, what were you thinking?
It's the worst feeling in the world. Hearing me harm someone and hearing the screams of him trying to kill me. It's like your worst nightmare being played out again and again and again. It's horrible.
Did you know what you were doing?
I have no idea. I really don't. All I remember from that night is being so scared and thinking, that's it, I'm gonna die, and that I needed to protect Holly. and myself. And other than that, I don't know anything else, except for the evidence that was brought to me.
Do you remember saying to Holly, afterwards, I did this for you?
No, I don't remember saying that.
Can you tell us a little bit about your mental state at that time? What condition you were in mentally?
I wasn't very well. A lot of bad things happened, and
Can you tell us what?
some bad things as a child and some other things in my late teens, and then it all got too much and I just started having a breakdown. And at the time I was just a complete mess. I just wanted to die, but I didn't have the guts to do it.
I know you'd seen a psychiatric nurse, I think, a couple of days before
Yeah.
the killing, and you'd been prescribed antidepressants. You'd been self-harming as well, hadn't you?
Yeah. I kept harming myself. I was just so low, like unbelievably low. I was in such a dark place. It was the worst feeling in the world.
Tell us about your first trial for murdering Vincent Francis.
My first trial was a shambles. I put my faith in my legal team, who were lovely people, but unfortunately they didn't do what they were supposed to do, because lawyers, they're like surgeons. They have our lives in their hands, and if they don't fight for you, then, well, you go to jail for a very long time. And a lot of evidence wasn't presented at the court, and the defence have got to be strong enough to convince the jury what the truth is. But sometimes the jury, they believe the prosecution, and because the defence hasn't challenged the witnesses enough or explained the evidence properly.
The jury found you guilty of murder back in 2010. You were jailed for life with a minimum of 9 years. Did you think that was a fair conviction and an appropriate punishment for what you'd done?
No. A very not nice person tried to kill me in my friend that night, and I defended myself. So it's either you die or you save your life and another person's and you go to jail. It's not fair. It's not. And I spoke to so many people in jail, officers, prisoners, and they all said it was unfair. My conviction was unfair as well. So
your murder conviction was quashed by the Court of Appeal last year. Fresh medical evidence showed that you had ADHD at the time of the killing, you had emerging borderline personality disorder, and that all that supported a case of a defence of diminished responsibility, and they asked the Court of Appeal to reduce the conviction to manslaughter.
Yeah.
What the Court of Appeal did was quash that murder conviction, but also ruled that you should face a further trial. You should be retried, at which point your lawyers offered that you would plead guilty to a manslaughter charge. That was turned down by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Alison Saunders, who said there should be a retrial for murder. How did you react to that?
I knew what the first trial was. The first trial was brutal, humiliating, and when they said I had to go through it all again because the DPP wouldn't accept my plea, and neither would the prosecution, I just wanted to give up. If it hadn't have been for my friends and family in jail and outside of jail, I would have given up, because I thought I can't do another trial. for someone to turn around and give me murder again, because I didn't have faith in the justice system. And I didn't have faith in the DPP or the prosecution, because they obviously weren't doing their job properly at all.
When you heard that news, you were obviously still in jail. What was your experience of being in custody?
Being in custody after the appeal, or in general?
The whole time, the 5.5 years.
Being in jail, depends what jail you're in. Jail was horrific at sometimes. Sometimes it was bearable and okay. But the things that kept me going through jail was my family on the out, but my friends in jail. We kind of banded together like a family, and through the bad things and the terrible things that happened in jail, we were there for each other, and we got through it.
You've criticised the Director of Public Prosecutions. They gave us this statement. They said, following a successful appeal by the defence against Stacey Hyde's original for murder, the Court of Appeal were invited by the defence to substitute the conviction for one of manslaughter. They declined to do so, stating that a life had been taken, and ordered a retrial for murder. The evidence was reconsidered by the Crown Prosecution Service, and a decision was made that under the code for Crown prosecutors, a prosecution for murder was still appropriate. The matter was once more tried before a jury who acquitted Ms Hyde of the offence. We respect the jury's decision in that case. And that was a statement from the Crown Prosecution Service. Now, Justice for Women, which took up your case following your conviction, questioned the public interest of putting you through that second trial. What did you think?
I think the DPP should reconsider her position.
During the second trial, what did you think the outcome of that was going to be?
I didn't have faith that I thought the jury would come back with murder again, that they wouldn't be able to see the truth. But Justice for Women and my QC and my legal team, they were phenomenal. They gave me such hope that maybe I wasn't delusional in thinking I could go home, because so many girls don't get their appeal. And they done the most wonderful thing for me. They gave me a second chance at life.
The jury heard that you'd acted in self-defence, and you walked free from jail, finally, after 5.5 years. Give us an insight into those emotions.
It's like magic. Being reunited with all my loved ones every day. I dreamed about coming home, but you think it's never going to happen, and it did. I was just so happy. It was amazing.